In a world that glorifies hustle and highlights, it's easy to forget that life wasn't designed to be complicated. We inherited busyness like a badge and confuse stress with significance. We treat every moment like a project to optimize. Under all the noise, there is a simple truth whispering: life is not supposed to be this heavy. We are the ones making it complicated. We turn a sunrise into a checklist and love into a performance. Maybe it's time to remember the simplicity we left behind. You weren't born serious. You came here curious, laughing at ceiling fans and dancing to commercials. Slowly, seriousness was sold to you as maturity. You learned to suppress your giggles and postpone your joy. You began to see life as a ladder to climb instead of a river to swim. Somewhere along the way, you traded awe for anxiety. Life didn't become complicated. You layered it with expectations until you couldn't see its face anymore. The truth is, life itself is simple. Waking up to the sun, eating when hungry, sleeping when tired, planting a seed and watching it grow. We complicate it by trying to control it, by rehearsing conversations that never happen, by assigning meaning to every coincidence. Simplicity isn't laziness, it's clarity. It's choosing to trust that the universe isn't out to get you. It's letting go of the need to over-explain, over-apologize, over-commit. Have you ever watched a child play? They don't ask if they're doing it right or wonder if anyone is watching. They immerse themselves fully. When they fall, they cry and then get up. They don't replay the fall or label themselves failures. You were like that once? Then you started collecting titles and opinions. You began believing your worth is measured by how little you mess up. So you became careful and stopped playing because play is messy. You stopped laughing because laughter isn't efficient. In doing so, you lost your lightness. Simplifying your life isn't about selling everything and moving to the mountains, unless that calls to you. It's about unlearning the habit of making everything about you. It's understanding that not every email needs an immediate answer, and not every feeling is a fact. It's realizing that you don't have to attach your identity to every project or performance. When you stop taking things personally, you make room for grace. Control is one of the ways we complicate life. We cling to certainty because uncertainty triggers our ancient nervous systems. But control is an exhausting illusion. We can't control the weather, other people's choices, or the timing of our breakthroughs. We can control our response. We can control our breathing. The tighter we hold, the more life slips through our fingers. Detachment is not indifference. It's freedom. It's the ability to love without trying to own. It's caring deeply about your work without tying your worth to its outcome. It's recognizing that everything is temporary and therefore precious. Overthinking is another thief of simplicity. We spend hours inventing disasters and replaying hypothetical conversations. Overthinking paralyzes in the name of caution. It convinces us that if we can think through every scenario, we will be safe. But life isn't chess, it's jazz. Wisdom plans, worry ruminates. Simplify by acting. Do the thing you're afraid to do. Action clarifies what thinking cannot. Presence is the antidote to complication. We complicate life by living everywhere but here, regretting the past and worrying about the future. Presence asks for attention, not analysis. Have you ever eaten a meal without scrolling? Have you ever walked without earbuds and listened to your steps? These moments are free of complexity, yet filled with richness. Presence does not erase pain, but it prevents suffering. Suffering is the story we attach to pain. To simplify is to choose presence over projection. This also applies to relationships. We expect people to read our minds and then resent them when they fail. We withhold our needs and punish others for not meeting them. Relationships are simple. They require communication, boundaries, respect, listening, and grace. They do not require mind reading or martyrdom. The more we speak from our heart, the less we need to manage others' perceptions. The more we let people be who they are, the more room we have to be ourselves. We complicate life by attaching to someone else's definition of success. We think success looks a certain way, pays a certain amount, feels a certain way. We chase someone else's dream and wonder why it tastes bitter. Success is subjective. For some, it's a quiet life with dogs and books. For others, it's travel and art. Complication arises when we believe there is one path. Simplicity arrives when we define our own. You don't have to want what everyone else wants. You don't have to apologize for wanting something different. Life becomes lighter when you let go of comparisons and choose what makes your soul rest. Humor also lightens your life. Remember the last time you laughed until your stomach hurt? Laughter interrupts seriousness. It reminds you that you're not your spreadsheet, not your follower count, not your mistakes. Humor is humility. When you laugh at yourself, you free yourself from the prison of perfection. Gratitude is a doorway to simplicity. It doesn't ignore reality, it reframes it. It says, yes, this is hard, but look at what else is here. Gratitude turns mundane moments into miracles. It turns a cup of tea into a ritual. It doesn't complicate, it amplifies. When you practice gratitude, you stop chasing a better moment and start inhabiting the one you're in. Play is another revolutionary act in a world addicted to seriousness. When was the last time you did something just for fun? Play connects you to your creativity and reminds you that joy doesn't need a reason. This isn't frivolous, it's necessary. Play balances work and rejuvenates your spirit. If you want to simplify your life, schedule play like you schedule meetings. Treat it as sacred. Slowing down is a radical choice. The world will call you lazy, but slowness is savoring. It's the difference between inhaling a meal and tasting each bite. It's the difference between meeting a deadline and actually listening to your friend. Speed hides life. Slowness reveals it. By slowing down, you notice the way the afternoon light paints your wall, the texture of your child's hair, the sound of your own breath. You realize you have more than enough time for what matters. You were never meant to do it all. You were meant to do what matters and let the rest go. Life does contain pain. There is injustice, illness, heartbreak, loss. Simplifying your outlook doesn't erase these realities. It changes how you move through them. When you don't complicate life with its unnecessary narratives, you have more capacity to face the necessary ones. Simplicity is discernment. It's knowing what is yours to carry and what is not. It's knowing you can't solve every problem and you're not required to. Simplifying also means reevaluating your commitments. Ask yourself, are you saying yes out of love or fear? Are you filling your calendar because you're afraid of sitting with yourself? Busyness is often a distraction that keeps you from feeling what needs to be felt. Each no you say to something misaligned is a yes to something meaningful. You don't have to justify your boundaries. You don't have to explain your rest. Every time you choose alignment over approval, life becomes lighter. At some point, you must accept that you're not in control of other people's opinions. People will misunderstand you, judge your choices, project their fears onto your freedom. If you live to appease them, you will complicate your life beyond recognition. Simplicity is living in alignment with your values, not their expectations. It's allowing people to be wrong about you. It's trusting that those who matter will understand or at least respect you. The less you chase validation, the lighter you feel. There's also freedom in embracing uncertainty. When you accept that you don't know what's coming, you stop trying to predict every outcome. You become open to surprises. You see detours as adventures rather than inconveniences. Sometimes the things you label mistakes lead you to miracles. Sometimes delays protect you. Trusting this process simplifies your internal landscape. It replaces worry with curiosity and turns fear into faith. At the end of your life, you won't wish you spent more time worrying or curating your image. You will wish you laughed more, loved more, listened more, lingered more. You will wish you saw more sunsets and held more hands. You will wish you weren't so afraid of looking foolish. Life is not complicated. People are. We build monuments to our ego and call them responsibilities. We ignore the very things that make life worth living. Simplicity is an awakening. It's remembering that you are part of nature, not separate from it. Trees don't rush, rivers don't force, stars don't compete. They exist, and that is enough. You don't have to wait for a breakdown or a breakthrough to simplify. You can choose now. You can choose to breathe deeply, to let go of what isn't yours, to laugh at your own seriousness. You can choose to say, I don't know, and that's okay. You can choose to be kind to yourself. Simplicity is not one grand decision. It's 1,000 small choices that add up to a life that feels like yours. You are allowed to take up space without explaining why. You are allowed to rest without earning it. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to be both ambitious and at ease. You are allowed to hold joy even when the world is heavy. You are allowed to find beauty in the mundane. This permission does not come from society. It comes from you. Grant it to yourself. The world will continue to spin whether you are hustling or humming. Your value does not increase with your speed. Life is not complicated when you decide it's not. It becomes as simple as breathing, in, out, here, now. And when you live like that, you realize that simplicity is not a sacrifice. It is a salvation.